For joining me today. It's been a while since I've been on my podcast on my YouTube channel, LAEntTVPodcast vlogging, as well as my Spotify. This will be going on my Spotify. Sorry, it's been over a month. What are you gonna do? I've been a little busy. Uh, just did the whole TIFF thing in Toronto. They needed a PA, production assistant, driver slash whatever they needed to do with the producers. Thanks, Will. Up in California, production California, the big Hollywood, and as well as Joseph Kahn, who directed the new movie, independent movie, Ick, and all the wonderful cast and crew who I met and who I proudly drove from the airport to the production team to the studios and whatnot. It was a great 4 day experience. It was absolutely crazy, long hours, but it was fun. But anyway, thanks again, guys. So kudos. Hopefully, they will do well in their distribution as well as going worldwide in their film. So great job, Joseph Kahn. I didn't know he was one of the directors for Taylor Swift as well as Enrique Iglesias and all those prominent other videos out there. But he is a really good guy. He's got a very good vision. I've seen his angles as a director and producer and DP, cinematographer. Um, I can see his vision, and his vision is really complete when he's very, very talented in that way. So I didn't see Ick yet because I couldn't see it because I was too busy driving and doing the PA with all the cast and crew. But I've seen some of his other videos, and it was very, very well um, directed. So good job there, Joseph. Thanks for joining me. Um, Thanks for having me part of your crew. So uh, the team gelled. The team was good, and the crew was good. And all in all, it was great working for them. So anyway, let's go back to this P Diddy. Okay, TMZ just confirms that Hollywood is scared that they will be next after Sean P Diddy Combs. So there's a lot of things going on with Hollywood. I don't know. It doesn't seem too good, especially with PD. First, it was Harvey Weinstein, he was a big so-called Hollywood mogul in Hollywood, and now another big Hollywood mogul, which is P Diddy, which is in the music industry. It's an icon. I grew up with him with the whole "I've been watching you" with Diddy Smalls, and a tribute to Pete Puff Daddy when he passed and all that stuff. But there's a lot of controversial between that and him behind the scenes and behind orchestra of him. So there is definitely something you gotta do your homework on. Okay, I'm just seeing from my perspective. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Was he blamed? Who knows? But there's a lot of egos, and especially in the music industry, as well as film. But when you're talking about two big, excuse me, two big stars in the music industry. Whew, excuse me, guys. But anyway, two big stars in the music industry trying to be the top of the game and climbing up and going neck to neck. East Side versus West Side, and it was a big whole thing, and it became very. You can't help but noticing every day after work. You can check it out, always in the news, TMZ, ABC, NBC, that there was a war between the West Side, East Side, United States, and it was pretty brutal. Very entertaining, but pretty brutal. But two poets gone, but um, apparently P Diddy was the mind, was the orchestra, the maestro, whatever you want to call it, whatever analogy you want to say. He definitely did something and left a mark with everybody when it came to Biggest Smalls getting shot as well as as well as I forgot his name, as well as the other character. It'll come back to me. And yeah, so that was very. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just punching in and getting some more information on here because I'm losing my train of thought and I'm using the Suge Knight, who was involved with the P Puff Daddy, um, East Coast, West Coast, as well as Snoop Dogg, and Tupac. Sorry, yeah, Tupac. So those are the prominent back in 1990 are what, and you figure when J Lo was dating P Diddy and he had all the shooting gun thing at the nightclub, so you have to put that in the equation too. So you put they're linking everything together and why he's always in part of the conversation. He's always in the conversation, out of the conversation. Why he did this, he did that. Was he the person who was involved? Was he the masterminder? Was he the puppet master who pulled all the strings when it comes to the music industry? And having the East Side, the West Side go against amongst each other, a battle um, that should be shared, not go against each other because they're both talented people, but they made them go against each other to sell records, and it's all about selling records and making that mucho dinero. And for that note, it cost two big prominent lives about the music industry of who were just started very young at their age, just getting up there, and that's what happens when you have power and money and you have the puppet masters. Especially something was, and all of a sudden when let's say with Puff Daddy and passing away, getting shot, and Notorious B.I.G., Tupac getting shot, they Puff Daddy comes up with a song. Not even like about a month later after that, becomes a number one hit with what's her name? Man, I'm losing my train of thought here. Yeah. So I've been watching you. What's? Let me punch this up here, man. Thank God for YouTube. Faith Evans. Sorry, yeah, Faith Evans. I think that's her name. If correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, I'm just naming it the top of my head, which is trying to remember. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty brutal, and seeing that and watching him uh, shoot each other, two beautiful souls who are very talented at their game, and for them to go battle for what? For a song, or it's just absolutely ridiculous. They just share. Um, Share their thoughts, share their talents, and reward themselves because they have so much talent out there to give by making music and for everybody to enjoy. So it's so bad that they had to go against each other, or somebody who orchestrated to put them against each other to kill one another so they could sell more records. And that's pretty much what it is selling records to make that mucho dinero. But anyway, let's go back to Puffy Comb getting arrested, and let's find out why he got arrested, why he'd been indicted. It's a little too obvious why, but now it's coming back on him. It's payback is a bitch, and it's finally here. And when it's here, they are excuse me. Let's hear what my always technical.
The second assassination attempt.
Well, it's interesting because he knew that they were getting ready to arrest him. His legal counsel, they had him in a particular location. They knew it was imminent, and so they were holding that it could have been held for more weeks, and then any given day do it, just as you said, to control the news cycle at higher levels. A lot of times that's exactly what happens. For example, when, very bizarre on every aspect of that, did it really happen? Was it really him? Blah, blah, blah. And they'd had information for a while on that. They were holding it in reserve, and when that was announced to the public, that was like 4 days after the supposed birth certificate was found lying behind the safe under the garbage can at the Hawaii Department of Public Health. I'm being facetious. Everybody looks for it, can't find it. Says they miraculously appeared operative. They've been in the background all that time. Loretta Fuddy suddenly shows up and sorts it all out. The reason I say that is because they needed something. The news cycle was going against them,
right? And so they needed to pull the attention away,
right? And so this is frequently done, and holding P. Diddy's stuff till just the right moment. Somebody picked up the call, called somebody else, and okay, now's the time, and do it. Because what you're really not grasping, if you're just the general public, this audience is different. Some of these alternative media audiences are not just anybody, because their spidey senses are turned on to the max. At the highest levels, where the puppeteers are pulling strings, if they've probably got 30 or 40 things that are on a scale of P. Diddy that can pull like a magic act, the Puff Bang, the pretty girl with the plumage out of her hair and backside, and they'll do whatever they got to do to pull social attention, consciousness, the general public to go a different direction at a moment's notice. And they've got those just sitting there in reserve, and it's not like it just stays the same. It's constantly rotating. They're bringing in new things that are happening, and they'll, have, just like with the prosecution here, they could play that card literally in a few hours on moment's notice. So, he's parked in a particular place. They know it's coming. He's enjoying, every day free until somebody says, okay, now it's time to play it because we need to move.
They literally have cards up their sleeves to play at any moment to take you away from. Yeah, this is a way to. Let me play it just for a second.
Yeah.
On federal charges. The disgraced music icon has faced startling allegations for months: physical abuse, gun trafficking, and drug trafficking. On Monday evening, he was indicted by a grand jury in New York. He was taken into custody in Manhattan, where he's been for the last week in anticipation of these charges. Now, the charges haven't been made public just yet. In fact, the indictment was sealed. But according to the New York...
Not poor guy, I mean, obviously he's guilty, but I mean, this guy, he's just got the shit into the stick. He's He's their guy. He's the lucky lottery winner.
Well, let me just say this: we're still America. We have plenty of information that we have that, including other witnesses that say he's guilty as hell, but we don't know he's guilty yet. And so let's not fall into the camp of whatever. But it sure looks pretty stinky. I mean, without being in a trial setting and a jury and all that, or him actually confessing, we'll let the jury make their mind up. But it certainly looks pretty damning with the information that's out so far.
Juan, do you think this shooter, Ralph, I think his last name is Ralph. What's his name? It's Ryan Ralph, or do you think he's gonna survive? Do you think he's gonna make it through the week?
Well, interesting thing. We had a person in custody in the state. I don't say we, a state here in the country had someone, and you'll hear about this weekend when we're talking. We have the policing people in. Was taken to the hospital for a medical thing, and a few hours later he's dead, 2 gunshots. Okay.
Wow.
In a very unusual, bizarre situation. There's so many angles and there's so much at stake. Most everybody here is thinking you're only thinking at a level of a little bit of child trafficking or sex crimes or gun crimes or something with, say, P. Diddy or something like that. But the implications, the reverberations out into the corporate world, the political world, the Hollywood world, are so great that it could literally change the course of history in some way. How many politicians are going to turn out to be implicated in the P. Diddy thing?
Yeah.
Not directly necessarily, but one thing leads to another, and you're in a Hollywood environment, you're in corporate mogul environment. Look at the Epstein thing. Was it just him with a few friends? No, you're talking nation state level intrigue. Why? Because he was providing a honeypot, and then intelligence agencies and Mossad, German intelligence, that looks like now too, we're all benefiting from these honeypots where they roped in people to be able to control them, not to put them through prosecution necessarily, but they get them roped into something and then blackmail them. Professors at universities, they're being roped in at Epstein Island so that they'll make sure that the reports go the right way.
Wow.
Why did you have very high-level people, Randy Andy out of England, of that level of people there? Because they have contacts. They allow those contacts to come in. They feel safe, get them in compromised situations, and then they're able to control them, not them directly, the people who invite them in, but the intelligence agencies that were running Epstein. Epstein's just a front, a cover for something much bigger. And I believe before we're all done, it's likely, see how legally it's going, we'll find that P. Diddy, Sean Combs, was in his own zone being managed by people in the intelligence agencies.
Wow.
And so it took years for that to come out with Epstein.
Right.
And that's part of the thing, why you have some people in the background that have gotten so pissed off. I'm trying to think what's his name, Mick, whatever his name was there, that got so pissed off and was chasing down a lot of the Epstein story. You had a lot of.
It seems to me like they're getting sloppy. It just.
Oh yeah, they definitely get.
What the deal is, is that there's so many.
That's true. Yeah, right. Not true.
Threads that are going out from some of these things. At a certain point, it becomes unwieldy. It's like let me do it this way. Police often crimes will do a pawn scheme thing to rope in the criminals with a pawn shop that supposedly is loose on the way they deal with items being brought in. And so the criminals know that the pawn shop will be, more relaxed on finding out the origins of stuff and where it came from and just paying out big money. And it's actually a police operation. They're videoing everything. They're documenting all the criminals. At a certain point, you go from maybe you're tracking a half dozen, now you got 24, now you got 50 criminals that have brought in stuff that you can identify pegged to certain crimes, and some of them you'll pick up for different reasons, and then take them off the street, but won't disclose the pawn shop side of the operation that's pulling in all this data. But at some point, you get so many players that the question is, do you shut down the pawn shop scam, have a party, invite everybody to a wedding, whatever it might be, and arrest them all at one time? Or do you keep the scam going because you're tracking something so big at one level that the other stuff is relatively minor, and these threads just keep growing, 10 horns, right?
Right.
And so what part of the issue is, look at the contact list that you have with Combs here, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him. The threads that go out, the potential investigations that branch off of this don't just end up being dozens. It may be hundreds, and then which ones do you focus on and which ones do you just let go because you just don't have enough investigative personnel or tools or attention to be put on it. We're looking at that, something similar to that, for example, up there with Sean Taylor up in Tennessee. There's so many threads to be pursued concerning the money laundering, going through the real estate stuff.
Yeah, be careful with this. Be careful with this on YouTube.
Okay. At the end of the day, you have to split up the policing resources, the prosecutorial resources over such a large area. The coordination becomes very unwieldy. So it's not about being sloppy. It's about something like this is the nexus for so many things. And then we come back to the shooter. That's part of the question. Where does this really all go? Is it just one lone individual? Was he coordinating with other people? Was there a sting going on? And that's why you're even hearing about the other people. A lot of times the leaks that come out related to these things are more telling than, you would think, because the stuff doesn't make sense. Why? Because you're not getting told the whole story. You're getting a half-truth. There was probably some type of a sting going on with this person. They were aware he was there. That's how they happened to be able to get him so far out. And even the schedule change was to accommodate, let's get this guy now. We control the situation. Nobody knows they were doing. See, think it. Nobody knew that Trump was going to be golfing that day. Well, everybody knows he goes out golfing, when he gets a chance on a moment's notice. But the reality is, if you knew there was a problem and you have a lot of the public there and like that, if you suddenly change your schedule like that, and now you're in control of the situation because you know what you just changed it to. You know why, and you're going to beat them in when you have better control of the situation and fewer people with eyes on this because it's a complete change. And then miraculously you pick it up at the outer wire.
That makes sense.
I think there's more to the story here than we're at first blush, but I don't know that. I'm just reading into the situation.
Juan, you've always said that this, this is going to go nuclear, and that's what I really want to talk about on the back channel. Do you mind talking about that on the back channel? Because that's the details in that I know they're pretty extensive, and I know I feel now that Biden is given the nod or the go-ahead to strike targets within Russia, Moscow, right? I mean, this is going to get red hot, and Scott Bennett has said October is going to have a surprise like no other, and I'm sure you agree with that. You've been saying that for years, actually, but it seems to me like they're not going to stop their efforts with assassination attempts on Trump. Do you think the next step is Russia? And could we talk about that on the back channel?
Yeah, let me just say that we don't know with precision going to happen. We just know that we're going to have lots of drama all the way through, and it's not just the next month. I would have to say it's more like the next 6 to 8 months as this plays through to the ultimate climax, and then the resolution, like hitting a sour note on the piano, and then you have to resolve it. And most people are thinking too close in, but you're not understanding. We're playing for control of the whole planet. Wow. That's what I think. Even with the Holmes stuff, the Epstein stuff, and a dozen other stories of that magnitude that you haven't quite heard about yet that are going to be played into the news cycle. You can't think too big. This is for control of the whole planet. The nuclear is a latter part of this whole thing. It's not the early part. That's every time you think, okay, it can't get any worse. No, it's going to get a whole hell of a lot worse. So anyway, we talked about that in the back.
Thank you. We'll go to ninoscorner.tv, folks. See you there. Let's talk about how bad this is really.
Okay, so that was Nino talking with Juanito. Nino talking with Nito about P. Diddy, the whole politics of what's going on. I can't say too much because BombTube will censor you and all that stuff. But all I gotta say is that P. Diddy's been caught sex trafficking, gun possession, honeypot. I don't know, probably murder. I don't know. Who knows? There's a list of things. There's a list of indictments. List of things and indictments that the FBI has charges against him. So he's finally apprehended. So I don't know if he is going to make bail because this is a really big charge. This is a world domination thing. We got big puppet masters scared of what's going on because they're getting closer and closer, and they're chiseling away of all the pieces, and then they're getting all the minions out there slowly, one by one. First, it was just a little, the mules up there who are, do the legwork. The mules who do the legwork, and after the legwork, then you got the second in charge, which is Epstein, Weinstein, and all the Steens, and now P. Diddy. And after that, then they go up to the puppet masters. So that's where they're going after. So the white hats, basically the good guys, excuse me. So it's basically a war that's really going on, and it's getting closer and closer. And October surprise, the Red Hot October is coming. So get ready for that. Don't forget, POTUS's ear, second attempt now in the bush in his golf course. So like I said, things are happening. Buckle up. October is coming, which is Red October, which is hot, before November 5th. So from what I've heard, I got some big sources right now who sent me that in about 2 weeks, make sure you have your water, food, money stored and stacked, because there's going to be a big event that's coming. So be sure to stay close, have your family close, say love you to your loved ones, and make sure you have everything ready in place: water, food, pillows, beds. Make sure it's all locked up, because it could be very, very intense in the next couple of weeks. Red October is just right around the corner, and November 5th is just followed after that. So stay close, stay tight, make sure you pray, and have faith that it's gonna be rocky for the next couple of weeks, couple of months, because it doesn't take a day, a month to throw away the trash, to cleanse what's going on in this world today. Talking lingo, so read between the lines, and It's gonna be rocky. So stay tight to your loved ones and stay close and have faith. Okay, guys, thanks for watching for this podcast today. It's a goodie, but um, it's worth doing your homework with. So please do your homework because it is gonna get crazier. All right, guys. Bye for now. God bless. Godspeed. See you in the next podcast video. Don't forget to hit me up on my YouTube channel, LA Entertainment TV. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. As well as on my Spotify, as well as my other platforms, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Okay, guys. Bye for now. God bless. Godspeed. And we will see you in the next